For people that have been in narcissistic relationships, it's very common to worry about whether or not the narcissist will change for the new person in their life. In this video, I'm going to talk about the reasons that we tend to worry about this and why we really don't need to worry about it in order to heal. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. It's very common for somebody that's been through a traumatic, fraudulent relationship in which they were strung along and made to wait indefinitely for things that were bound to never happen. It's perfectly natural, if you've been through that kind of situation, to wonder if the narcissist is going to suddenly give all the things that you've been waiting for to someone else. It's perfectly natural to worry about whether or not somebody else is going to reap all the benefits for all the pain that you've been through and all the waiting you've done. And unfortunately, it's also common to worry about whether or not someone else was maybe good enough where you weren't. Maybe somebody else was successful where you failed. Maybe somebody else somehow is able to meet the needs of this person that you never could. Of course, the short answer to this question of whether or not the narcissist is going to change for the new person is no. Narcissists don't change who they are based on who they're with. Nobody really does. People change for themselves, and pathological narcissists, while some of them in rare instances are able to create better habits if they're properly motivated, they can never really be anything but a narcissist. Pathological narcissists cannot stop being narcissists. It's who they are. It's their personality. They cannot change the way that they perceive reality because of the person that they're with or because of the qualities of the person that they're with. Pathological narcissism is a disorder. It's a pathology. Someone that truly suffers from this is not going to suddenly stop being a narcissist because of the type of person they are now with. If you were with somebody that was pathologically narcissistic and you're now wondering if they're going to change for the new person, that's kind of like wondering if somebody that you were with that was maybe paralyzed and unable to walk is suddenly going to start walking for their new partner. The pathology of narcissism has nothing to do with you, as paralysis would have nothing to do with the partner the person was with. And a pathological narcissist is not going to change because of the person that they're with. They're going to change if they decide to for themselves. The behavior of a narcissist has nothing to do with the people that they surround themselves with. Their abusive behavior has nothing to do with anything that you ever did. This is an illusion they like to create. They like to convince the people that they're with and the people that they mistreat that their mistreatment and their abusive behavior was due to something that the victim did. This just isn't true. Abusive people look for people to abuse. Abusive people are abusive because they are abusive. Now, all that being said, I do want to explain a scenario in which it may appear that a narcissist has changed for their new partner. I actually know of some people that this happened to, and I really don't want to say anything to identify these people, but the man in this situation, in my opinion, seemed extremely narcissistic. And he was in a long-term committed relationship with somebody that was a little outspoken, somebody that was maybe a little emotionally volatile herself, and was not afraid to start arguments or engage in arguments with this person. As a couple, they argued a lot. They fought a lot. And after a few years, they broke up. Now, this man, who in my opinion was very narcissistic, went on to a new relationship with somebody who was quite submissive, somebody that was a lot more fearful of him, somebody that was afraid of starting arguments, and somebody that would just kind of stuff her feelings and try not to rock the boat. In this relationship, there was a lot less arguing. This relationship was quite a bit different from the first one. And I would imagine that if the first partner was looking from the outside at this second partner and the relationship that they had, it may appear that this relationship was a lot more harmonious. It might even appear to the first partner that the narcissist had changed for this new person. But in reality, it was just a difference in the dynamic of how they interacted with each other. Nobody in any of these scenarios ever changed anything about themselves. It was just the way that they interacted. And the second couple actually ended up breaking up eventually, because although there wasn't much overt fighting in this relationship, it wasn't a happy, healthy relationship because there was no communication and the narcissist was still a narcissist. Now, I want to speak on where this worry comes from, because a lot of us can really worry about this. And I think one place that it can come from is the idea or the illusion that we may have that we can control other people. That somehow, if we do the right things, if we say the right things, and if we try hard enough, we can control the behavior of the narcissist in our life. And I think it's really hard when that eventually fails to watch the narcissist move on to someone else and imagine maybe that person's going to figure it out. Maybe that person's going to be able to control the narcissist's behavior. And of course, in reality, we cannot control anybody else's behavior, and we're not responsible for anybody else's choices. We aren't, and neither is the new partner. If the narcissist chooses to be abusive, that's his or her choice. This illusion that we can control somebody else's choices also gives us a sense of responsibility to do so. Narcissists, of course, thrive in relationships with people that are willing to take responsibility for their behavior, and they encourage this and they feed into it. And part of healing from a narcissistic relationship is learning how to let go of that responsibility and learning how to internalize the belief that we are not responsible or in control of somebody else's behavior. And as I illustrated in the example I gave, even if the narcissist treats the new person better, even if they seem to be on better behavior, it's not because of anything you did or did not do, and it's not because of anything that the new person is or is not doing. It's certainly not because the new person deserves better treatment. It's certainly not because the new person is somehow better than you are. Nobody deserves to be abused and mistreated. Nobody is responsible for an abusive person's decision to be abusive. Another place that this worry can come from is from a place of toxic hope. It's very, very difficult to let go of those last shreds of hope that the narcissist is going to change for us if we just hold on a little bit longer, if we just give them one more chance, if we just say the right things the right way, we'll figure it out. And this narcissist is finally going to be the person that they told us that they were, or that we believed that they were. They're finally going to treat us right, and everything's going to be fine, and we aren't going to have to face this horrible truth, and we aren't going to have to process all this hurt and pain. Everything's going to be fine if we just try a little bit harder and hold on just a little bit longer. When we see the narcissist move on to somebody else, I think that belief that is so hard to shake that maybe there's still a chance gets transferred and kind of turns into this extremely toxic worry that they are finally going to change, but now it's too late. This worry and this toxic hope and this false belief that maybe there's a chance that they're going to finally become this amazing person we always imagined that they were. It's one of the most painful things to reconcile, and it's not something that we can simply shut off. So when I tell you that no one that has abused you and mistreated you is even worth waiting for to see that maybe there's some off chance that they're going to change, there's nothing that that person could ever change into, could ever become, that's worth giving them another chance. There is nothing that person could ever do that would be worth more of your time after everything that they've put you through. I know that while that cognitively makes sense to most people, it's still really hard emotionally to let go of that hope. But I want to tell you that if you commit yourself to reality and you commit yourself to behaving in a rational way, knowing that it really isn't worth any more of your time, that your emotions will catch up to you eventually, and it might take a while, but your emotions will eventually agree with your logic if you stay committed to fighting for yourself, if you stay committed to your boundaries, and you stay committed to refusing to let somebody that's abused you and mistreated you and then blamed you for their treatment of you, refuse to let that person back into your life, refuse to give that person any more chances, refuse to give that person more time to become anything that could ever make what they've done to you worth it. If you stay committed to yourself and what is good for you, you will eventually wake up one day and wonder why you spent so much time on these tiny little shreds of hope. Wonder what it was that you thought might happen that would make all of that pain worth it. How wonderful can one person possibly be to make all of that worth it? And how wonderful can someone who's already done such terrible things to you, how wonderful could they possibly become that would make any of it worth it? You'll wake up one day and you'll just pity the person that they've moved on to, because you'll know that despite how things may look on the outside and despite the differences in the type of relationship they may have, it's doomed to the same failure that you experienced. It's doomed to the same lack of connection. It's doomed to the same toxic, unhealthy, miserable patterns that you experienced yourself. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.